Legendary mystery writer Harlan Tromby has been found dead in his mansion of an apparent suicide. However, there seems to be more to the case, as an anonymous backer has hired equally renowned private investigator Benoit Blanc to investigate the crime, and he suspects that foul play could be afoot. Blanc focuses much of his investigation around Harlan's personal nurse, Marta Cabrera, who does seem to know what happened that night, but she can't explain out of fear of her own secrets being revealed. Further complicating matters, the entire family finds out that they've been removed from Harlan's will, and Marta has been named the sole beneficiary to his multi-million-dollar estate. So what exactly is Marta hiding? Who did really kill Harlan Tromby? I don't know what his last name is. I'm sorry. This is Knives Out. So, first things first, yes, this is a Lionsgate film, so you're not getting the normal pictures that I pan over because they get rather claim-happy on YouTube. You're getting video game footage. Okay, so that explains that. And, you're going to hear me alternating the pronunciation of the last names because I think it's pronounced Tromby, or is it Tromby? Yeah, you're going to hear me alternating pronunciations throughout all of this. And this is a big ensemble cast. There's a lot of characters to really keep track of. Some don't really do much at all, so I do have to wonder what exactly they're going on here. They're going on with, but you have Jamie Lee Curtis's character, who is the daughter, Linda. Her husband is Don Johnson, and that's Richard. There's a housekeeper named Fran. There's Ransom, who is the son of, that's Chris Evans. He's the son of Don Johnson and Jamie Lee Curtis. Walt is another son. That's I can't think who it is now. He is the one with the cane. He's God dang it. Is it Michael Weatherly? No, that's not it. God, my mind's blanking all of a sudden. I'm sorry. I don't want to get too focused. Joni, who is, it was actually a daughter-in-law. Her husband died, and she has a daughter, Meg, who is in college. Walt and Donna, that's his wife, have a son, Jacob, who's this alt-right troll on like 4chan and stuff. Ransom, like I said, is Chris Evans, and he's kind of the black sheep of the family. He's just been, most of the family is, has their own self-sustaining careers. They don't really live too much off of the millions that Harlan Tromby, whatever his last name is, generated. But he's like the lone exception, is that he's been kind of milking it for years, but there's other bits that have turned up too. And the central figure, though, is really Marta, who is this personal nurse and aide who, has become a confidant of Harlan, but they're not a romantic couple in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I think it's sort of implied that she might be having a romantic relationship with Meg, who is in college, and she's this big activist. So, yeah, she's constantly, even though she comes from money, she's constantly ranting about how money is evil. So you're getting a lot of that. And the funny thing with Marta is that Marta is so averse to lying, whether hearing it or when she does it herself, that it actually induces vomiting as a psychosomatic response. So that's why Blanc initially focuses his investigation upon her. But in reality, what happened, she knows what happened, which is she was administering some of his medications. To help him with some pain, she normally administers a little bit of morphine. I think it's 3 milligrams of morphine. But she confused the morphine with one of his regular medications and gave him a lethal dose. And she was unable to find the naloxone that's needed to stabilize him in this case. But he has some, Harlan knows that Marta's mother is in the country illegally, and if any type of foul play were to come to light, her mother could be deported, Marta could go to jail, this whole thing could fall apart. So he basically sets up some scenarios to cover everything up as best he can, and he willingly slits his throat, hoping that that will just throw everyone off. It doesn't, though, because this is when, afterwards, it's when Benoit Blanc, who is it's Daniel Craig, obviously, and like I said, he's this well-known investigator who's been covered by the New Yorker, and he has this kind of, I think it's, I can't remember, it's the name of a book. It's called Someone's Rainbow, and it's about, you follow the natural course of things to their natural conclusion, where the truth will eventually reveal itself, rather than truly investigating things. And he starts setting up things, and like you said, he knows that Marta has this aversion to lying, so he's trying to use that. But she's actually trying to cover up her tracks. Literally, in some cases, she's actually trying to cover up her tracks. But of course, more and more things get peeled back over time. I'm gonna spoil who I won't spoil who the big killer turns out to be. But yeah, there is obviously way more to it. And yes, Marta is named the sole beneficiary. And so this is a very well laid in mystery. Great whodunit in the style of Agatha Christie, and even to an extent I would say Murder, She Wrote in Columbo. I mean, there's actually a Murder, She Wrote reference in this. So yeah, there's a lot of that going on. If I do have one really big criticism of the movie, is that it does kind of drag a little bit. There's a lot of scenes of just get to the blasted point, just get it through. Like there's a lot of but I can't do this, blah blah blah, and then there's just like dead silence, and it's like get to the point, just spurt it out. But yeah, other than that, it's really good. Some really top-notch performances from the entire cast. I don't know if it's necessarily Academy Award worthy, but this was more than fun. It was really great. I am going to be giving Knives Out an A.
An Agatha Christie novel made for A&E. A story only the world's greatest mystery writer could create.
Murder. Cold-blooded murder.
A role only David Suchet could bring to life.
There is evil in this village.
Out of the way!
You kept your secret very well.
The truth.
Downright evil.
It is impossible to conceal anything from Hercule Poirot.
Poirot, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, Sunday at 8 Eastern, 9 Pacific on A&E.
Okay, trailer time, and we got some new trailers finally. I guess now that everything's sort of shaken out a little bit, we've gotten at least a bit more regularity, I guess. So again, we're starting to get some new ones. The first one is Dark Waters. Mark Ruffalo plays an attorney for DuPont who returns to his hometown in West Virginia to discover that DuPont has actually been poisoning the water supply for years on end, and so now he has to mount a case against his own employer. After that, we have Little Women. We had that one last week. Then we have Richard Jewell. It's about Richard Jewell, obviously, and you can look that up. It's by Clint Eastwood. Then we have 1917. I know we've had this one before. This is obviously it's in World War I. A British soldier is dispatched to find his brother's unit because they are wandering into a trap, and he needs to catch them before they do so. Then we had Bombshell, which is the movie about the whole Roger Ailes Fox News sexual harassment fiasco. And then we ended on Cats again. So, yeah. Okay, so this should be going up on Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And, okay, so the next video after this is going to be the Random Trade Review on New Avengers of the Century. I've got everything shot, I've got everything recorded, I just need to get the cover, I just need to get the picture scans and stuff like that in to edit everything together. There's no movie next week because there's just nothing coming out next week. The only thing of note is the Playmobil movie, and that's already been out for a few months already. I've said that a bunch of times. So the next movie after that is going to be Jumanji, The Next Level, and obviously Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. And I did think about reviewing Cats, but I don't know what the plans are for the holiday season as we enter it, or what's entirely going down. Like, I've been hearing one thing, I've heard another thing. The weather could always turn to crap, so I mean, we're actually due for a snowstorm tomorrow, so, starting tomorrow night. So, yeah. Anyway, see you all next time. Hey guys, check out my Patreon and see how you can request a movie for me to review, even if it's some stinker like A Dog's Way Home or the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Also, if you like what you see, give the video a like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell.